Depending on your political leanings or how active you are in certain sections of the internet, you may not have any clue about what the heck I'm talking about. But yes, at least at some point in time, the left had become obsessed with the classic newspaper comic character Garfield, which has led to a lot of people, primarily me, to ask a simple question.
Why? 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 Why?
But before we answer that, I have to cater to the 4 people on Earth who have no clue who this Heathcliff knockoff is. Garfield is an American comic strip created by Jim Davis that has been running since 1978. The plot centers around Garfield as he eats lasagna, abuses owners and friends, and is generally just a jerk. It has gotten a plethora of shows, video games, atrocities, and of course, enough merchandise to pollute a beach for 35 years and make $1 billion a year. I'm not kidding about that last thing, look it up. Obviously, that means a lot of people have seen or heard of Garfield. He's become one of the most recognizable cartoon characters in the world. As such, he has wide appeal. Now, while he is really well known, Garfield's notoriety has basically plateaued. He's ingrained in the American cartoon character lexicon, but not on the level of, say, Mickey Mouse. But still notable enough that if you show someone a picture of Garfield, they'll probably tell you who he is. And one particular section of the internet got really obsessed with Garfield for a little bit. The online left. As I knew a ton of accounts that would literally just post Garfield memes or have Garfield related stuff in their profile or whatever. And I really wanted to know why Garfield of all things. And believe it or not, I actually did manage to find out a couple of reasons why that might be. For starters, memes. Like many other mainstream cartoon characters, parodies and memes are a good way for young people to get into the product. It's worked with a lot of things before. My Little Pony was a meme online, and there were a bunch of guys who unironically love it. Crazy Frog was originally seen as an incredibly annoying creature, but thanks to memes, he's sort of become an icon. Heck, if you want to go far enough, the entire internet trend of furries was built on this kind of mentality, being parodies of pre-existing characters. And Garfield was not immune to this whatsoever, much like how you are not immune to propaganda. Originating from a user on Tumblr called Mark Vomit before making its way into r/late-stage capitalism, usually used as a retort for the Wendy's Twitter pwn meme that was going on at the time period. But before that meme became a thing, there was another meme that made the rounds on left Twitter that had made Garfield into the heartthrob of the terminally online left. It all started with an interview that Mental Floss conducted with Garfield's creator, Jim Davis, where Jim was quoted as saying, "By virtue of being a cat, really, he's not really a male or female or any particular race or nationality, young or old. It gives me more latitude for the humor for the situations." What Jim was trying to say was that Garfield has appeal to everyone. But when people online heard that quote, they interpreted it as Garfield is confirmed to be non-binary. And much like when any other character is confirmed to be a member of the LGBTQ community, or is even speculated to be part of the LGBTQ community, younger people on social media go ballistic. Which got the attention of former Chapo Trap House host turned child groomer Virgil Texas, who then began a Wikipedia editing war to have Garfield's gender listed as none, which in and of itself became a meme. And the secondary reason as to why people on the left might be obsessed with Garfield has to do with Garfield themselves. We'll start off with the character Garfield, their signature catchphrase being, "I hate Mondays." It's incredibly basic, but it's hashtag relatable enough for everybody to be on board. And while hating on Mondays is a bipartisan issue, we all know that to a degree, it strikes a bit more of a chord to people on the left. From the late teens, early 20s lefties who have to go to school, from union workers being forced to give away their money to the bourgeois, everyone agrees. Screw Mondays. But nothing else about the character themselves really actually indicates anything remotely left-wing. Well, that is, except for the time that Jim Davis accidentally had Garfield say fuck the military. But I would also argue that it might have something to do with the brand Garfield. As I mentioned before, Garfield is an extremely popular cartoon icon, almost rivaling the likes of Bugs Bunny, SpongeBob, and Mickey Mouse. But something separated Garfield from the rest of them. Those three had become corporate. Back when this trend was at its peak, Garfield wasn't corporate. Garfield and the company that Jim Davis owned that had Garfield was an independent venture, at least until 2019. And unlike the rest of them, who have been swayed far away from their original creator's intentions, Garfield still has Jim Davis as heavily involved in the creation. So perhaps lefties see Garfield as a representation of what these characters are supposed to be. Art pushed by a creator to spread a vision, as opposed to what they become, mascots for capitalist corporate America. Or maybe they just like it when the funny orange cat eats lasagna, and I'm reading way too much into this. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click the bell to notify when a future video of mine comes out. And if you're interested in more content from me, you can go to my website, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or consider supporting me on Patreon. About as useless as the day I made him. Like always, it's always up to me. Have fun with your last week, because after that, E Pluribus Unum will forever be a silhouette of the past.